Hello and welcome to another lesson at the Math Academy. Today we will be solving equations by using our graphing calculator. We've gone through a series of lessons where we were solving equations by hand. We were using all of the transformations. So we learned how to do that. Now we need to learn how to solve them using our graphing calculator. If you look at my screen on the right side, I have the TI-84 Plus set up, and on the left side, I have these are my notes. I can write on the side with my notes, so I'll write my answers, and anything I want to write, I can do that on the left. However, I will not be able to write on the right side of the screen, but I will be able to plug in numbers, and anything that I do, you will also be able to see it. You'll be able to see it. When I hit a button, it'll light up in red as you just saw. And everything that I do, you will be able to follow along. Okay? And it's a fairly simple process. We have 6 examples that we're going to do. We'll do 3 together, excuse me, and you'll try 3 on your own. So let's go ahead and get started. On this first equation, I have 7x minus 2x plus 3x equals a negative 8. Well, if you wanted to solve this by hand, you just combine your like terms on the left, which would give you 8x and equals negative 8. Then you divide by 8, coming up with the solution of negative 1. But I picked this problem for a reason, okay? So the way we're going to do this, we're going to take the left side, the entire left side of the equation, and we're going to plug it into the calculator into y1. So if you haven't already done so, let's go over here to your y1 screen. If you hit y1, you see the light flashing at y1 equals. So let's just go ahead and make our substitution. Go ahead and plug in 7x minus 2x plus 3x. Okay, and then if you hit enter, it'll jump down to y2 equals. Well, the y2 part, we're going to plug in the right side of the equation. So on the right side, I'm going back to my calculator. In y2, I'm just simply putting in negative 8. Okay. Now once again, the left side of the equation, I put that in y1. The right side of the equation, I plug that into y2. Now I'm ready to go in and find my answer. Okay. First thing I want to do is I want to hit graph so that it'll draw the picture. It's going to draw both lines. Just give it a second to draw everything. Okay, now you see the blue line is what I put in Y1, and the red line is the negative 8. Okay, so now I need to know where do those two lines intersect. Those two lines where they intersect is my solution. So what I want to do is I want to hit second and trace, and it'll take me to this screen that says calculate. Well, I want to calculate the intersection. So here it says intersection number 5. You can either use your arrow key and scroll down to 5, or you can just simply on your keypad hit that number 5, and it'll take you back to the graph. Then it's going to ask you 3 questions. It's going to say first curve, hit enter. It'll say second curve, hit enter. Then it'll say guess, hit enter again. And then if you look at the bottom portion of your screen on your calculator, it says intersection. X is negative 1, Y is negative 8. So we're looking for X. So this lets us know that the solution to this equation is negative 1. Okay? And I'm going to show you somewhere else you could find that in the calculator. Okay? We found it that way. If I hit second and graph, it takes me to my table. Second graph takes you to the table. Okay? We have x is negative 1 as the solution. So I'm going to, right now I'm at negative 5. I don't know what your calculator is on. It'll probably be something else. I want you to use your arrow keys and scroll until you get to x is negative 1, like my calculator. Okay. Once you get there, you see where it says x, under the x column, it has negative 1. If I scroll over to the y1, it says negative 8, and the y2 I'm scrolling over, it also says negative 8. Well, you see that the y1 column and the y2 column, they match. So that lets you know that, hey, the correct answer must be -1. So if you're just looking in your table, if you have to use just the table to find your solutions, that's the way you can find your solution, just by using your table. But sometimes if your answer is a fraction or a decimal or something, it may not always show up, okay? But the way that I'm showing you will always show up, but I just wanted you to know where you could find that answer using that table, okay? So let's go on to the next one together. The next one I have 6/5 times 5x plus 10 minus 8 equals -20. Same old, same old. This left side, I'm putting that in y1. The right side, I'll put that in y2. Okay, so I'll go over to my calculator. And I can clear this out by just hitting clear. I can move down to the second one, clear that out as well. So in y1, I'm putting 6/5. I like to put my fractions in parentheses. Put your fractions in parentheses. Everything else, I'm going to put it just as it appears. I have 6/5 in parentheses because it's a fraction. Now I'm putting in 5x plus 10, close parentheses, minus 8. That all goes in y1. And then I hit enter, and it drops me down to y2. So here I need to put in -20 because that's what the calculator says. Now I'm going to hit graph again, and I'm going to let my lines draw. I'm going to, wait for the graph to form. Okay, now this time you notice that you only see one line. You only see the blue line. You don't see the red line. Well, in Y2, we had -20. Well, the view screen doesn't show that much. If it's set on a standard window, it'll go down 10, up 10, to the right 10, and over to the left 10. So you can't see everything. We want to be able to see everything. So this time, in order for me to see that red line, I'm going to hit zoom. So I want you to hit zoom. And I need to fix this window so I can see everything. So I need to zoom out. So zoom out is number 3. Once again, either use your arrow key to scroll down or simply hit the number 3 and enter. And then give it a second and let everything draw. Let your graph form. Now I've zoomed out enough to where I can see that -20. Now I'm ready to calculate the intersection. So once again, I hit second, trace. I want the intersection. That's number 5. And it asks me the 3 questions, so I'll hit enter 3 times. Okay, it says that the intersection is -4 and -20, and I'm looking for the x value. So my solution here is x is equal to -4. Now most of the time, well, no, I shouldn't say most of the time, but a lot of times when you're solving equations, you may not have to zoom out, you may not have to do any of that, but if you do, I need you to know how to do that. I really want you to know how to do that, okay? So let's go back to our next equation. Our last one that we're going to do together is number 3. I have -3x minus 2 equals 5x plus 6. That left side goes in y1. My right side goes in y2. Go back to my y equals on my calculator. I like to clear out what I have in there. I can type over it, but I like to go ahead and clear it out. So the left side I have, oh, wait a minute, not putting in the right thing. That's a -3. -3x minus 2, enter, 5x plus 6, plus 6. I didn't left my plus out. Okay, now I have that. Once again, I want to graph it to see, can I see everything? I need to be able to see both graphs. This time I can see everything. So if I can see the two graphs, I can get the solution. So I hit second, trace. Once again, I want the intersection, so that's number 5. It asks me the 3 questions. First curve, enter. Second curve, enter. Guess, enter. And it gives me that x is -1. So the solution for this one is x is equal to -1. So now what I want you to do, I want you to pause this video. I want you to work those remaining 3 problems on your own, then restart the video so you can check your answers. You've restarted the video, that means that you are ready to check your answers, so let's go ahead and do so. First thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to pull these other problems up a bit so we can see them a little bit better. Okay. The next one that you have is 3 times x plus 1 equals 2 times x plus 11. Left side goes in y1. The right side goes in y2. Go over to my calculator and I enter my data. I want to clear these out first. Okay, so this first one was 3 times, excuse me, x plus 1. Enter. The second one, y2, should be 2 times x plus 11, close parentheses. First, I want to hit graph so it can draw the pictures. It'll draw my 2 graphs for me. Okay, now I am ready to calculate their intersection so I can get my solution. Hit number 5 for intersect. Then I'll hit enter 3 times. And it gives me that x is equal to 19. So on this number 4, you should have, without working it out, just by working it using your graphing calculator, that x is 19. Something else that I want to show you, you notice how on the actual, looking back at your calculator view screen, you notice how you don't actually see the intersection of the 2 lines. Well, if you don't, let me try something real quick. Okay. I don't need you to do anything, just watch what I'm doing. Right now what I'm doing is I'm putting it on a standard view screen. When you first get your calculator, you take it out. If you don't do anything to it, this is a standard view screen. Okay, so if I wanted to hit, and clearly I can't see that, I see the 2 lines but they don't intersect. So if I wanted to, let me go back. If I wanted to see their intersection, I know I need to zoom out, so I'll hit 3 and it'll zoom out, but I still don't see the intersection of the 2. So what I'll do is I'll hit enter again. Now when I hit enter again, then I can see the intersection of the 2 lines. Okay, that's just for future use. We got the answer on this previous one, but that's just for future use. Okay, so now let's go ahead and try our next one. I think I want to fix this back like I just did. No, I'll leave it just like it was. Okay, so this side goes into y1, 57 goes into y2. Clear these out. So in my y1 I put 4x plus 3 times 2x plus 8, close parentheses, minus 7. And in y2 I put 57. Okay, go to my graph. Let it draw my picture. Now I'm ready to calculate the intersection, and I'll hit enter 3 times. And here I'll get that x is equal to 4. And then for that last one, I have -7 times -6 plus 8x, close parentheses, plus 3. Then y2, I enter -16 plus 5x. Okay, now I'm going to double check, make sure I have it in there correctly. I draw my graph. Okay, it'll take a second to draw. Then I need the intersection of the two lines. That's number 5. And I'll enter it 3 times. And you should have gotten for your answer x is equal to 1. And that's your final answer. I hope this video has been some help to you. But before you go, there is one last thing that I do want you to do to your calculator. I want you to reset your window to a standard window, and the way you do that, hit the zoom button, and a standard window is number 6. So either scroll down or just on your keypad, your calculator keypad, hit number 6, and it will adjust your view screen back to a normal window, because a lot of things that you do in high school you only need a normal window for. So I wanted to tell you how to do that before you go. And don't forget, you can visit us on YouTube, Math Academy Online, if you want more videos, or you can visit us on the web at mathacademyonline.com. Thank you.